Welcome to the Ashland County Historical Society. Today we are here to tell you the story of a little girl named Grace Myers. Her life ended at the age of 8 when she fell into a basement and died from her injuries. This is the story of her life and the lives of the people who surrounded her. On February 28, 1882, P.A. Myers, the famous inventor and executive of the F.E. Myers and Brothers Pump Company, received a patent for the double-action pump. Because this pump delivered a steady stream of water, it made life much easier for people to gather water without strenuous and continual pumping. This was a technological breakthrough at the time. This invention put the F.E. Myers and Brothers Company on the international map. Later, in 1884, Myers developed a pump with a glass valve seat that would never corrode or leak and received an exclusive patent for it. These two revolutionary inventions, the double-action pump and the glass valve seat, forced their competitors to buy parts from the company. The development of over 100 patents made P.A. Myers one of the most successful men during the golden American industrial age at the turn of the 20th century. Along with his brother F.E. Myers, who was a sales and marketing genius, the two men held a monopoly on the pump business and ran the largest pump manufacturing company in the United States, the F.E. Myers and Brother Company. At one time, the factory employed over 2,500 people, and sales orders were taken from all over the world. Later, their younger brothers were brought into the business. A.N. Myers was at first an assistant to P.A. and later became superintendent and then a vice president. Denton Myers followed in the footsteps of his brother F.E. and became vice president of sales for the company. The business continued to grow and generated millions of dollars for the family. P.A. Myers was at the center of the community's development. He gave valuable land for the Myers Athletic Field. Not only was he the vice president of the F.E. Myers and Brother Company, and later became president upon his brother's death, but he was also vice president of the Faultless Rubber Company and the First National Bank, both of Ashland. He was a director of the Union Trust Company in Cleveland, president of the Chase Foundry and Manufacturing Company in Columbus, director of Security Life Insurance Company of America in Chicago, and director at Pinoco Rubber and Cloth in New Jersey. On New Year's Day in 1879, P.A. Myers married Samantha Chase. Samantha's father, the Honorable James E. Chase, was a prosperous farmer and landowner in Jackson Township. He served 2 terms in the Ohio State Legislature from 1857 to 1860, and again from 1869 to 1873. It's quite possible that Samantha and P.A. met through farming and family connections at the time. P.A. and Samantha set up housekeeping in the city of Ashland on the corner of Center and Walnut Street. They rented a house from another famous Ashland family, the Freers. At the time, Center Street was the place where prominent Ashlanders built their residences. It was less than 2 years after they were married that the couple welcomed twins, a boy named Chase and a girl named Grace. To be born into such a prosperous family was indeed a blessing for both children. They enjoyed all the benefits of growing up in a loving home. As evidenced by their grade cards and teachers, they were both smart and obedient children. To accommodate their growing children and reflect their expanding success, P.A. and Samantha decided to build a house on the opposite corner of their rented home. It was to be a large home with a beautiful gazebo built on the side and lovely gardens surrounding the property. One day, P.A., his wife, and 2 twin children were inspecting the construction progress of the new house. 8-year-old Grace slipped and fell into the basement. Due to complications from the injuries she sustained in the fall, Grace contracted tubercular meningitis. Tuberculosis is a bacterial infection that commonly attacks the lungs. When the bacterial infection crosses into the bloodstream, the patient will experience inflammation of the thin membrane that protects the spinal column and the brain. Lesions will develop and rupture, which is fatal to the patient. Children are particularly susceptible. In 1890, there were no drugs, tests, or therapies to treat this disease. Even today, the disease is fatal without modern-day treatment. She contracted the disease right before New Year's Day, 1890, and died about 2 weeks later on January 11, 1890. She is buried in the family plot at the Ashland Cemetery. It is said that she contracted the disease due to the complications from her fall in the basement. It is said that P.A. Myers never emotionally fully recovered from his daughter's death. In Grace's memory, her parents dedicated a beautiful stained glass window in the chancel of the Trinity Lutheran Church where they were members. The original installation of this window was when the church was located on the corner of Church and West 3rd Street in Ashland. The window was a composition made at the Von Gerechten Art Glass Studio in Columbus, Ohio. At the time, the Von Gerechtens created approximately 1,800 windows for approximately 850 churches in the United States. Most of those windows were created in the Columbus, Ohio studio. When someone expressed an interest in purchasing a Von Gerechten stained glass window, the company representative would travel to meet with the buyer to discuss window patterns and scenes. Using standard patterns in coordination with unique drawings, a draft of the proposed window was created. The stained glass window, created in Grace's memory, is unique and is not a replica of any other artwork. When the new Trinity Lutheran Church was completed in 1963 on Center Street in Ashland, Ohio, Grace's window was incorporated into the sanctuary. It still exists today. Other stained glass windows have been incorporated in the same style as Grace's window. They depict the Good Samaritan, the resurrection, and other religious icons associated with the Christian faith. Samantha Chase Myers, Grace's mother, died in 1923 without having any more children. P.A. went on to marry Josephine Forsythe, who was a famous singer and composer from Cleveland, Ohio. P.A. was 75 years old when he married Josephine and 76 when his daughter Phyllis was born. Unfortunately, P.A. died when Phyllis was only 3 years old, and her mother, Josephine, died when Phyllis was only 10, leaving her an orphan. She was provided for in a trust fund established by her mother and family. Grace's closest family members went on to have other tragic deaths. Her father, P.A., died as a result of a car accident. Grace's brother, Chase, died of suicide at the age of 53. At the age of 21, her niece, Miriam, was electrocuted after stepping on a live wire after a car accident. Her nephew, Philip Andrew Myers, was killed in a car accident at the age of 22. Today, the Eloise Noonan House stands on the spot where P.A. and Samantha built their first house together. The sunken garden on the north side of the Noonan House is all that remains of the original P.A. Myers home. There are times when workers in the Noonan House sometimes hear footsteps on the upper floors. No malevolent activities have been recorded, but the staff attributes the sounds to the memory of the little girl, Grace Myers. Thank you for joining us today at the Ashland County Historical Society. We invite you to come visit us at 420 Center Street, Ashland, Ohio 44805. Our hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tours are available, and we welcome you to visit our website at www.ashlandhistory.org.